Welcome to the deep dive.
Great to be here.
Today, our mission, well, it's pretty clear. We're going to cut through all the noise. We want to bring you the really important insights from global news reported today, August 15th, 2025.
Exactly. It's not just about skimming headlines. We're aiming for a quick but thorough understanding of what's actually shaping our world.
We'll distill the key facts, look at why they matter for you.
And we've gathered basically a snapshot. Today's top 10 global stories pulled from various international outlets.
Think of them as data points painting the current picture.
That's a good way to put it. These are the headlines defining things right now.
Yeah, and it's amazing, isn't it, how just one day's news cycle can show so much about global trends, how everything's connected.
Absolutely. From diplomacy to markets, even, competitive gaming.
Right. Every story's a piece of a bigger puzzle. So, our goal today is to unpack these for you. Go beyond the surface, find the surprising facts, the deeper implications.
Let's dive in.
Okay, kicking us off. There's a major geopolitical event happening. U.S. President Donald Trump and Russian President Vladimir Putin are meeting in Alaska today.
That's the core fact, the meeting itself.
But what's intriguing is the feeling around it. Very cautious anticipation, wouldn't you say?
Definitely cautious. There's a lot of speculation, particularly about potential peace terms for Ukraine.
And here's something interesting. Even with real concerns that any deal might, bypass Ukraine's interests, the markets actually reacted positively.
Yes, they ticked up slightly.
What does that tell us? About the global desire for stability, maybe even a fragile kind.
That's the key tension, isn't it? It's quite remarkable. It shows how even just the prospect of a high-level agreement, whatever its fairness, can soothe financial markets almost instantly.
So a global appetite for stability overriding other concerns.
It seems that way sometimes. It suggests markets crave predictability, sometimes more than principle, at least in the immediate term. The ripple effect is often that reassurance, even if the long-term fallout for, say, bypass nations could be really complicated.
Complicated indeed. And speaking of markets, it's worth noting, despite these pretty big geopolitical tensions, global markets mostly held steady ahead of that summit.
Largely steady, yes, but with some interesting divergences.
Right. Digging into the specifics, China's economy showed some signs of slowing down. Their industrial output was at its weakest pace since November, and retail growth looked a bit sluggish, too.
A definite cooling there.
But then on the flip side, look at the UK. The FTSE 100 actually hit an intraday record, 9,222.07.
Incredible number.
Yeah, boosted significantly by mining stocks and some really strong corporate earnings reports. So what's fascinating about this diverging performance? China slowing, UK hitting records.
Well, this divergence is quite telling. China's slowdown might hint at broader global economic headwinds, sure. But the UK's strong performance, especially in sectors like mining, shows how specific regions or industries can, well, defy the larger trend.
So it's not always one global picture.
Exactly. It highlights that even when there's global uncertainty, localized strengths may be tied to commodity prices or strong domestic fundamentals can create these pockets of surprising resilience.
It's often, hard for people to see how distant events affect their daily lives. But today's oil prices, that's a pretty clear example.
A very direct link.
Oil prices actually inched up, reached one-week highs today, partly because of that investor caution ahead of the Trump-Putin summit.
Nerves playing a role.
Brent crude hit $67 a barrel. WTI was at $64.10. But beyond the summit jitters, what else was feeding into this rise?
That's a great question. While the geopolitical risk was definitely a factor, it's significant that Japan's solid GDP growth also helped push prices up.
Oh, okay. So demand side too.
Precisely. It highlights a crucial point. Oil prices aren't just about geopolitical tension. They're also a reflection of underlying global economic health. Strong growth in a major economy like Japan signals robust energy demand.
And when you combine that demand with worries about supply or stability from diplomatic uncertainty,
prices inevitably go higher. It shows you how interconnected energy, economics, and geopolitics really are.
Okay, let's shift focus now. There's a diplomatic recognition today that could really change regional power dynamics.
In Afghanistan.
Exactly. The Taliban marked its 4th anniversary in power today. But the big news is, this time it comes with Russia's first official recognition of their regime.
That is a significant development.
What's the broader context here? What are the potential implications of Moscow making this move now?
Well, if you connect it to the bigger picture, Russia's official recognition is a substantial shift. Remember, this milestone, the 4-year mark, it comes amidst ongoing international scrutiny of the Taliban's rule.
human rights concerns, stability concerns.
All of that. So Moscow's move could signal a recalibration of diplomatic strategy among major powers. It definitely raises an important question about how other nations might react.
Could it pave the way for broader engagement?
Possibly.
Hmm.
Perhaps cautious engagement down the line. It certainly impacts regional stability calculations and things like counterterrorism efforts. It's one to watch.
Definitely. Okay, let's turn our attention to South Asia. India commemorated its 79th Independence Day today with some very spirited ceremonies.
A major national day.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi delivered his 12th consecutive Independence Day address from the Red Fort. That's quite a streak.
12 years running, yes. That's notable.
And President Draupadi Murmu also spoke, articulating a vision for a Naya Bharat, a new India, aiming for self-reliance and prosperity by 2047.
A long-term vision.
So what does this tell us? The longevity of Modi's addresses, this declaration of a long-term national vision. What does it say about India's political stability, its future goals?
Well, the ability for a leader to give 12 addresses in a row from such an iconic national symbol, that speaks volumes about political continuity.
Yeah.
Especially in a vast, diverse democracy like India.
There's just a certain stability.
It does. And when you couple that with President Murmu's vision for 2047, it outlines a very clear, ambitious national path forward. It's not just, rhetoric.
It sets an agenda.
Exactly. It sets a long-term strategic agenda. It aims to mobilize national resources, public sentiment towards very specific goals.
Yeah.
That's a powerful signal about a nation's intended direction.
Okay, from national aspirations now to a tragic immediate reality nearby. In Pakistan.
The floods.
Yes, flash floods triggered by extremely heavy monsoon rains have tragically claimed at least 49 lives across northwestern Pakistan.
Devastating news.
Rescue operations are still ongoing. And get this, more than 1,300 tourists had to be evacuated from mountain areas where they were stranded by landslides and, extensive damage to roads and bridges.
Infrastructure just wiped out in places.
It's a stark reminder, isn't it? The immediate devastating impact of these climate-related disasters on communities, on infrastructure, and the vulnerability, too.
Especially in challenging terrain like that. It complicates rescue efforts immensely.
Absolutely. Now, while we're on the theme of resilience, maybe in a different context, let's look at institutions of knowledge under pressure.
An interesting angle.
We're seeing leading Israeli universities, Weizmann Institute, Hebrew University, Technion. They remain among the world's top 100 institutions in the latest rankings.
Still in the top tier.
Yes, and this is despite, significant wartime disruptions and considerable international pressure. Their positions have slipped slightly, but they're still there.
Holding relatively steady.
What's remarkable about this resilience, especially given the extremely challenging environment they're operating in?
What's truly remarkable here is that enduring strength. Despite conflict, despite pressure, these universities have largely kept their global standing. It really raises an important question, I think, about the inherent resilience of academic and research institutions.
What allows them to weather these storms?
It suggests that deep-seated intellectual capital, strong global networks, maybe a long-term focus. These things can help them endure even severe geopolitical turbulence. They continue to contribute to global innovation and knowledge. It's quite something.
It really is. Okay, shifting gears again, this time to a persistent global challenge. Plastic pollution.
Ah, yes, the treaty talks.
International negotiations for what was meant to be a landmark treaty. They concluded today without an agreement. Just collapsed.
The major setback.
The core obstacle, deeply diverging national interests. Stubborn points of contention just prevented any consensus on how to tackle this massive, escalating global plastic crisis.
Yeah, they couldn't bridge the gaps.
So what does this failure tell us about the path forward for big global environmental issues? Is this just another negotiation falling apart or something more?
I think it's more than just another failed negotiation. It's a critical signal. The key insight here is how deeply entrenched national economic interests, existing industrial structures, how they can block even seemingly obvious solutions to what everyone agrees is a universal crisis.
So national interests trumping global good.
In this instance, yes. This outcome suggests that maybe future climate and pollution efforts might need to, perhaps bypass these huge top-down multilateral treaties sometimes.
Look for other ways.
Perhaps more targeted approaches, industry-specific agreements, regional pacts, maybe even bilateral deals, just to make any kind of progress. It shows the limits of global consensus building on really tough economic issues.
Okay. Now, on a different kind of global stage, one that's growing rapidly. Esports.
Big money, big audiences.
The Week 6 championship weekend of the Esports World Cup 2025 just wrapped up. 4 titles still to be decided, though.
Still some action left.
Teams are locked in intense competition. The whole event is moving towards its finale in Riyadh. It certainly shows esports' growing global reach, its professionalization. It's cemented its place, hasn't it?
No question, it's mainstream competitive entertainment now.
But not all esports news is quite so smooth sailing today.
Oh.
Several qualified teams have unexpectedly withdrawn from the 2025 Pokémon World Championships. That's happening in Anaheim, California.
Withdrawals, why?
Well, the reports attribute the dropouts to systemic barriers, things that raise concerns about inclusivity, fairness, the logistics and costs for international teams competing.
Access issues.
Exactly. So what's noteworthy here, how even in these, seemingly lighter cultural events like esports, these really fundamental issues of accessibility and equity pop up.
This is indeed noteworthy because it mirrors broader societal challenges, but within this very visible, very modern cultural phenomena. While one event, like the World Cup, showcases the huge growth and money.
The glamour side.
Right. The Pokémon Championship withdrawals expose the, let's call them growing pains, the systemic issues that can affect any rapidly expanding global industry. It raises important questions about how these esports organizations address deep-seated problems.
Problems of access, fairness.
Yes, to ensure they can sustain that growth and really live up to being truly global, truly inclusive platforms. It's not just about the gameplay.
A really interesting contrast there. So if we try to bring all this together, what we've seen today, August 15th, 2025, it's this snapshot of how incredibly interconnected everything is.
It really is. You pull one thread and you find it's attached to so many others.
Yeah, from that high-stakes summit potentially impacting global markets to environmental talks hitting a wall over national interests.
To even cultural events like esports reflecting these deeper societal issues of access and fairness.
Every piece of news, every story, it's a thread in this huge, complex global tapestry.
Each story, no matter how small or far away it seems, it contributes to the bigger narrative. It's about spotting the patterns, the forces at play.
Absolutely. So as you go about your day, maybe consider this. How might understanding these seemingly disconnected global events all happening on just one day, how might that reshape your perspective?
Your view on the forces that really drive our world.
Exactly. And how sometimes even the smallest details can end up revealing the largest, most profound narratives. Something to think about.